What's up, y'all? Brand Fanny Gamers here. Welcome back to Phoenix Wright Eastern Dual Destinies. I'm here with Wright once again. And...
Hi.
You guys remember the last episode when all the crap or Blackwell is taking hostages, including Trucy, and now she's indicting Athena.
And now Athena apparently is being accused of killing her own mother.
Have you even thought of a motive at all?
No, that's the stupid thing. They didn't even think about a motive to do it.
And plus, her mother died 7 years ago in the game, and she was only a kid.
Why is she being tried for that now?
I have no idea, but I guess we'll find out more until we move on. So, let's head on to the trial. Oh yeah, that reminded me. We did see Black Cyclops, Athena. So, in the last part,
but they're not. Hang on, is that the first time you've ever seen Black Cyclops?
I'm not sure. I think there was one time there was like a Black Cyclops at Apollo Justice Ace Attorney, at least in episode 4.
Why?
I don't
Phoenix
remember.
wasn't doing it.
No, Phoenix was there. Like, there was a time where you were playing as Phoenix in Apollo Justice Ace Attorney in episode 4.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Was it in the past?
For the past, yeah.
Hmm.
But yeah, the Black Cyclops and all that stuff. I think, in the last one, like the very last part of it, we saw like a teaser of this part, of course, Pearl's talking, when she was talking about how the Black Cyclops work.
I think you can skip all this because we already did this. So. Okay, stop making that pose.
She's still doing the same. Okay, there we go.
Why do I hear honking?
I don't know. Just trying to take out what I did. Started 7 years ago.
Yep.
So we're now in a case of 7 years ago. Defense, prosecution, and judge. There are even people in the gallery. The roof has been completely blown off and the walls have collapsed. But today, this ruin is my battleground. Oh boy.
Hey, what, the robots at the witness stand? Are you serious? Okay.
Court, or some facsimile thereof, is now in session for the trial of Athena Sykes.
Already?
Hold it! Not a facsimile, old man. This is a proper official trial. Take this more seriously, or you'll start hearing the bones of the hostages snap.
Please try not to upset Miss Blackwell. I'm begging you.
Court is now in session for the very serious and very proper trial of Athena Sykes.
Oh boy.
This is no trial. It's nothing more than a ridiculous force.
What did you say?
Edgeworth, did you not hear what I just said to His Honor?
However, this ridiculous force has a very important meaning for our legal system. Recall the case of the UR1 incident in which a prosecutor was found guilty of murder. That case ushered the odious dark age of the law.
I see what you're after. If we can find the real truth behind the case today...
Precisely. The darkness will be dispelled and glory shall be restored to our court system.
Prosecutor Edgeworth, you sound as if you know something of this truth.
I do indeed. A new suspect has emerged in the UR1 case. For 7 years, Simon Blackwell has refused to speak in order to cover for someone else.
Brace yourself, Phoenix. Here it comes.
I'm sorry, Wright, but the situation is what it is, and I must do what I must. The prosecution moves to indict Athena Sykes on the court of murder in the first degree. I mean, why is he doing that now? I thought he was on her side.
I guess he's just doing...
Regardless the circumstance, I intend to question the defendant with all I have. For that is a part of my creed.
Then you'd better bring it.
If the two of you are ready.
This feels like an outside courtroom.
Court is now in session for the trial of Athena Sykes.
Your Honor, the defense was born ready.
The prosecution is also ready.
Damn. What was being said?
Yeah, basically what Edgeworth said is like this, like, regardless of circumstance, I intend to question the defendant with all I have, for that is a part of my creed.
What does he mean by that?
I guess he's just doing his job as a prosecutor.
But is he still kind of on her side?
I guess, I don't know, but I guess he's trying to be on our side, but at the moment he has to, like, he pretty much has to question Athena, I guess, at the moment.
Because that's because he's a prosecutor, and that's the job of a prosecutor.
Pretty much.
Is my Edgeworth voice, you know, pretty close to his? Okay, good.
There's immense tension between us. It's like we're picking up right where we left off.
It's my duty to clear Prosecutor Blackwell of false accusations and end this insanity.
But I have no intention of losing Miss Sykes either. She's a very promising young lawyer. I know without a doubt that Dina's innocent. I don't think Prosecutor Blackwell did it either. So, do you have any clue who was responsible for the sabotage?
Oh my god.
At the very least, I knew it wasn't Simon Blackwell. I don't know enough to identify the true culprit, but it's clear what the person is. To put it simply, a spy.
Just gotta know who the spy is. The true culprit is a spy.
I have a feeling that I have a feeling that whoever the spy is, that's gonna be somebody we're not gonna expect.
Oh boy. It's going to be hard to convince anyone of that one. I barely believe it myself.
I mean, it'd be boring if it wasn't, am I right?
I guess so. I don't have a choice if I want to save Athena and Blackwell and expose the spy.
Now then, Chief Prosecutor Edgeworth.
No need for a chief prosecutor. No need for the chief prosecutor bit, Your Honor. I am here as a simple prosecutor.
Very well. Your opening statement, please, Prosecutor Edgeworth. Although, I've been known of late to give an impressive opening statement myself.
Sorry.
Because of Blackwell.
In all the trials I have seen, only the prosecution gives the opening statement.
Of course, you're right. I was just joking. Just having a little fun.
No.
So he wasn't doing them just out of fear? Interesting.
Let's start with a brief overview of the UR1 incident. The incident occurred at the Space Cosmos Center 7 years ago on October the 7th. The victim, psychologist Marta Sykes, was killed in the robotics lab on the 4th floor. Meta Sykes.
Tina's mother.
Simon Blackwell, a young prosecutor at the time, was found guilty of the crime. There are two deciding factors that led to his guilty verdict. 1. Blackwell was the only person in the corridor to the lab at the time of the murder. And 2. This photo which captured the movement of the crime.
Very incriminating evidence indeed. It would appear that the only conclusion is that Prosecutor Blackwell did indeed.
Hold it! Are you kidding me? I'm not accepting any conclusion of the kind! This opening statement is over! Now hurry up and call a witness!
Excuse me, Miss Blackwell, but we must follow the proper procedure for things, you know.
Or perhaps we should heed her wishes, Your Honor. She is the trial sponsor, after all.
This hostage taker
What?
is a trial sponsor.
Wow, Edgeworth. Besides, the courtroom is chilly, and sitting for too long can't be good for your back.
Oh, you are very kind to show such concern for the welfare of the elderly.
As skilled as ever playing the court puppeteer, I see.
The prosecution calls its first witness. A witness who decided to bring forth new testimony after 7 long years.
Maybe this witness was 7 years ago. New testimony? Just who is this witness anyway?
What?
You? I'll be full right the name. Injustice we trust. What are you doing here? I'm just here to speak for the hostage taker, Miss Aura Blackwell. Miss Aura Blackwell was technically supposed to be the witness. Why can't she just witness and talk through Clonco?
Yeah.
He says she's too busy with confining and threatening the hostages and all.
She was just there!
That doesn't seem to stop her from constantly climbing into a Clonco.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm nothing more than an observer in this! Do your best! I am watching you!
If we're gonna cross-examine Detective Fulbright over Aura, then how are we gonna... how exactly is he gonna respond if we find a contradiction?
Believing her brother innocent, Miss Blackwell has been conducting her own investigation. And though her current actions are hardly lawful, I think we can at least hear her theory.
I have here Blackwell's notes on the investigation she conducted. And I'll be giving testimony based on these notes. Here we go.
Oh boy.
Aura Blackwell's theory. Simon isn't the murderer. He was trying to cover for someone. Someone else was at the scene at the time they say Simon committed the murder. I mean, if he really was out to steal that Moonra, then why the rolling case? Because he was using it to hide someone inside, that's why. Now, the only person small enough to fit inside that case was Athena Sykes.
The last one seems contradictory.
And that's Blackwell's theory. It totally goes in the face of the official ruling, huh? About the case you mentioned, there were other ruling cases like that one in the lab. But they're not for traveling. They're apparently for moving parts and equipment. I think I remember seeing these three 3 cases all in different sizes.
It's those 3 on the left.
Yeah. At the last trial, they thought that Prosecutor Blackwell used the case to steal the rock. And they have a perfectly good reason to think that too. You see, there's a security camera in the corridor that leads to the robotic lab. That camera captured footage of Blackwell leaving the scene with the case. Would he really need that big of? Would he really need that big of a case to steal a moon rock?
There has to be a person inside of it.
I can see why that footage helped to bring his trial to a quick end. It's very convincing, that's for sure. Oh boy. Okay. That case, by the way, was later discovered outside the Space Center grounds. Speaking of after the incident, where was the defendant Athena Sykes found?
She was found on the 5th floor of the Space Center in the Sykes family residence. Prosecutor Blackwell most likely brought her there after the incident. In addition, it's unknown where Miss Sykes was at the estimated time of death.
Miss Sykes was too confused by the shock of her mother's death to give proper testimony, and there was no witness or evidence to tell us where she might have been. So what you're saying is Miss Sykes didn't have an alibi?
That is what the evidence is saying, yes.
I understand the reasoning behind the theory, but I am far from convinced. The victim is the accused mother. Are you actually claiming on an 11-year-old girl?
Of course. The girl had a very strong motive. For killing her mother?
Do tell, Edgeworth.
Hmm?
Or Fulbright. Dr. Sykes was a psychologist who wrote many papers about speech and emotions. You're aware of Athena Sykes' special ability, aren't you, Your Honor?
Are you referring to that therapy thing? Yes, she's done it quite a few times in court.
The ability to read emotions from speech and the subject of her mother's research.
Well, as long as it benefits society, I don't see any particular problem researching it.
I don't like where this is heading. Not one bit.
Dr. Sykes was so intent on her research that she forced her daughter to undergo experiments.
Prosecutor Edgeworth, are you seriously suggesting...
I've done my best to be delicate, but even you can't deny it to be true, Mr. Wright. No longer able to withstand the anguish of the experiments, Miss Sykes felt her only choice was to kill her own mother!
Ah!
Order! Order in the court! What a tragic story! I hardly want to believe it myself. But we must proceed. Mr. Wright, if you could, Detective Fulbright, please refer to the notes.
Should I just go straight to that last statement?
I think so. Seriously, why is Edgeworth doing this? I thought he said that he was going to help us find the truth together.
Well, then again, he is doing his job as a prosecutor, and lawyers and prosecutors are meant to argue to find the truth.
I suppose. He doesn't have to be like that, though. Anyway.
I'm in the murder he was trying to really was out to steal that burn rock and then why to roll the case. Maybe he would need to hide someone inside, that's why. And the only person responsible to be inside that case was Athena Sykes.
How is the echo on the thing, by the way?
It's good, yeah.
Okay.
I'll just maybe I'll press first.
Press and see if it hints at a contradiction.
Okay. Hold it! That's nothing more than conjecture, and it's hardly the only possibility. In that case, what do you think Prosecutor Blackwell had in that case? I think it was the moon rock.
Objection!
Objection! There were 3 cases at the scene, but Prosecutor Blackwell used the largest one.
What a different voice.
Wait, really?
No, like when he said objection here in the game.
Oh. But how was my objection?
It was good. It was actually almost perfect as how he said objection here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep doing it then. I just knew that. Hey, wait. On your end, did I say it like right, like just a little bit after it popped up?
Yeah, you said it like 0.5 seconds, and then that's when you said objection.
Yeah, I actually said it on my end. I actually said it like a few, like half a second after it popped up because I knew he was gonna say objection. As soon as objection popped up, I knew it was Edgeworth. Anyway, the moon rock was egg-shaped, and only about 8 inches in diameter. It wouldn't have made any sense to use the longest case there just to move that rock.
Watches.
Objection!
Objection! Be that as it may, it doesn't prove Miss Tyke was inside.
I thought he was going to say objection again. Then let me ask you this. Can you come up with a better theory of what was inside that case? The airplane is back!
We're in an outside courtroom after all.
Yep. You're gonna do the green screen again?
I don't know.
Okay.
Well, Mr. Wright, can you?
Nice. Give a guy some time to think. Let's see. Should I try to bluff my way through what could have been that case? I don't know.
What does it say?
So let's see. Should I try to bluff my way through what could have been the case? Either bluff or don't bluff.
I don't
This
know.
might be a bad idea, but I'm gonna try bluff.
Okay.
Well, bluff. I know exactly what Prosecutor Blackwell carried from the scene. I just had to find something else that was missing, right? No sweat.
Ooh, I'd be very interested in hearing your theory, if it's true, that is.
Oh boy. This is the crime scene photo taken after Prosecutor Blackwell left, correct? All we have to do is compare this with... No, that photo, no. This photo of Prosecutor Blackwell to see what's missing. He took something with him, then it should be in one of these photos.
I think one of the boxes were missing.
And maybe we'll see. Any luck, don't fail me now.
Alright then, Mr. Wright, let's hear your theory. What did Prosecutor Blackwell take from the scene of the murder?
Actually, before I do that, I'm gonna quickly look at the court record to compare the photos. So compare this photo and no, and this photo. You were saying the box is there at the left or right? I meant.
I don't know. Go back to the other photo because I actually can't see it.
Yeah, I don't think
there's the window on the left. Right? There's the window on the left.
I don't think that's a window on the left. That's just like part of the screen thingy.
Oh. But this isn't the same location though, so how are you supposed to...
Well,
or is it?
I mean, it's just that both cameras are in different angles. Like the box, this angle is like this angle of the camera. Like I believe, like the camera is like around here or something like that.
Oh.
You can't see like the doctor here, Dr. Sykes, on the other photo because it didn't show her. This thing was in the way. Actually, this tray thing here. Wait, hold on. That tray thing just has the box. But this one in the box, there's also this little arm thing.
And there's stuff on top of the tray, but it's not in the other photo.
Yeah, this one.
Should we try it?
Okay, hold on, let me see. What about you take from the scene?
Should we try it?
Around this one, I guess this one?
Might be wrong, but let's try it.
Okay, take that!
The bar went away.
Please notice that there is a robot part on top of the car in this photo. However, in this photo taken after the crime, the robot part is gone.
I knew it.
Alright,
We knew it.
In other words, this part is something that was taken from the scene of the crime.
You do appear to be right. I don't see it in the second picture.
But it's just a piece of junk. How important could it be? Is it really just an insignificant robot part? Speaking of which...
What are you looking at? I'm gonna start charging for each glance per eyeball!
Jeez.
Stingy. What happened to the age of free previews? Your Honor, about this robot part, doesn't it look like it could be an arm from that robot there?
Yep.
Well, now you mention it, it does, doesn't it? But the case is still too big to be practical for just the moon rock and robot arm.
But was it really just one arm that was in there? It wasn't Athena in the case, then maybe... I believe there was another robot at the scene that looked just like the one here. Your Honor, it is the defense assertion that it was the other robot that was in the case.
What?
Objection! We can't be certain that the part belonged to the robot. Yes, it looks like an arm from the one before us, but it could be something else entirely. Besides, it is wrapped entirely in bandages, making it very difficult to verify what it is.
Objection! I know for a fact that it is a robot arm. I can even tell you which robot it belonged to, just by looking at it. With this information, we can investigate whether it was there at the time or not.
But Mr. Wright, I thought you were more of the technology illiterate type. When did you become such an expert? I feel somehow abandoned.
Huh?
Not to worry, Your Honor. I still know next to nothing about machines. Well, I know this piece of evidence proved which robot the arm belonged to. Robot with bandages, right? If I recall correctly, is it this one?
Yes. Yes, look at the arm!
Belongs to Ponko.
Ponko, not Klonko.
Yeah, well, Klonko is just a blue robot. Ponko's an orange robot. Anyways, yep. Take that!
Take that.
The robot in this picture is named Ponko. But take a look at Ponko's arm. It was Miss Sykes who bandaged it up like that.
She must have thought that machines heal in the same way that people do.
That's exactly what she thought. What the heck?
What an adorable, naive mistake. It reminds me of my own grandchild.
The robot arm at the crime scene had the same bandaging wrapped around it. In other words, this robot arm could belong to none other than Ponko.
Order! Order in the court! I say, Prosecutor Edgeworth, what do you have to say to this?
I kind of read that backwards. I concede that the robot is about the same size as a child. but I cannot grab its knees and curl itself into a ball. Even if it was the largest of the cases, the robot couldn't have possibly fit in there. It could if it was taken apart.
The case does come up to about mid-height. The case does comes?
The case does come up to about mid-thigh on Prosecutor Blackwell.
It should say the case does come, not comes.
Anyway. I see your point. This robot is much taller than that.
Got me there. So then did Prosecutor Blackwell make Marco win the case by dismantling her or protecting her?
Dismantling her.
Dismantling her.
Duh.
Of course Ponko would fit. All Prosecutor Michael had to do was dismantle her. Once taken apart, the robot could have easily fit inside that rolling case.
It appears to be a robot assembly device.
Disassemble anything in a flash. Push the dismissal button. That sounds pretty neat. Can I push it, Mr. Nick?
It sounds rather violent, but Mr. Wright does have a point there.
Objection!
Objection! I want to make sure that was Edgeworth, that's why I stuttered.
Okay.
Objection! Except that there was a body on the table where the robots are dismantled and assembled. There would have been no room to take the robot apart.
Objection!
Objection! But what if it wasn't done on the table? What if the katana was used instead?
You mean the sword?
Yes, Your Honor. Miss Blackwell, I like your opinion as a woman of science. Isn't it true that the katana could have been used to take the robot apart?
I suppose so. Their joints aren't made of very tough material. A blade could slice through them.
Thank you for your opinion, Miss Blackwell. Thanks to you, we now know that the existence of the silver arm in this photo proves that Ponko was taken apart. In addition, since the rest of Ponko was not found at the scene, we conclude that the true meaning of this photo is very different from the original interpretation.
You can't mean...
That's exactly what I mean. This photo does not capture the moment of the murder. It is instead a picture of the moment after the robot was sliced apart. The blood you see where the arm was cut off was transferred there by the bloody katana. Most likely the rest of Ponko is scattered around Prosecutor Blackwell's feet.
Not hearing this.
Therefore, what was transported inside that case was not the defendant, but a robot. Miss Sykes never was at the scene at the time of the murder.
My head! My head! My body! My eye!
Okay.
Order! Order in the court!
First of all, Miss Blackwell, how are you connected to Ponko like you're in him? Literally said, my head, my body.
It's true that Ponko was found in pieces after the murder. And I'll admit, I repaired her myself afterwards.
I guess pressing on that last statement was the one thing we needed to do. And bluffing, apparently. Yes, I'm finally making some progress. Hopefully I've gotten at least one step closer to proving both the Dean and Prosecutor Michael's innocence.
Objection!
Objection!
Oh.
Well played, Mr. Wright. You've made your point abundantly clear. I concede that it wasn't the defendant inside the rolling case, but the robot.
Alright. What's going on here? It's never good when he plays things this straight.
Why do you object? Why did he? Why if he literally agreed with? Why did he object?
I don't know.
Does the prosecution withdraw its claim that the defendant was carried from the scene?
No, Your Honor. My claim hasn't changed.
And why not?
Objection!
Objection! The Ponko and Miss Sykes couldn't have both been inside that case.
Objection!
Objection! The notion that this case was used to carry Miss Sykes was Miss Blackwell's theory. I have been of a different opinion from the outset. Sorry, God. Now I finally have the opportunity to voice my theory. Thanks to the defense.
Edgeworth, you've been one step ahead of me this whole time.
In that case, how do you propose the defendant left the crime scene?
Simple. The footage only shows Prosecutor Blackwell from behind. What's more, he's holding his arm in front of his body, as if he were holding something or someone.
Is he asserting that he's probably holding Athena in front of him, hiding him from the camera?
That's impossible.
That's hardly evidence.
I have proof. The suncoat Prosecutor Blackwell was wearing. The victim's blood was found at the front of it, and the stain had a highly distinctive shape.
A bloodstain? With a distinctive shape? Please continue, Prosecutor Edgeworth.
7 years ago, the defendant was known to constantly wear a certain item, of which there is only one in the world. A special pair of headphones made just for her.
She always wore those big, heavy-looking headphones. She said her mother made them for her as part of her research.
Analysis showed the bloodstain to be in the exact same shape as these headphones. In other words, there was no mere blood splatter. The blood went from the victim's body to the headphones, and then was imprinted onto Prosecutor Blackwell's coat like a stamp.
A most gruesome stop indeed.
Was Athena really that high that he can reach to that surcoat, though? What that tall I meant?
Blackwell carried Miss Sykes, who had been hit by splatter, away from the crime scene. This proves that Miss Sykes was without question present at the crime scene. And that concludes the prosecution's argument.
Ah!
Order! Order! If the defendant was indeed at the scene, it deepens the suspicion against her.
Objection!
Objection! But we also showed that the robot was there at the scene as well.
Objection!
Objection! I hope you're not making the ridiculous claim that a simple robot was the real murderer.
I don't really think that, no, but I can't say the possibility isn't there. Detective Fulbright, was the robot questioned at the time? No, I don't see any record of it. I believe it was considered unrelated to the case. But as it turned out, the robot was actually integrally related. Your Honor, the defense would like to call Ponko to the stand.
A robot witness?
There already is a robot at the stand!
Order! Order in the court! Prosecutor Edgeworth, what do you think about this?
Mr. Wright has called a matter of witnesses to the stand over the years. So why not a robot? Nothing surprises me anymore with him.
Very well. I will allow the witness. Bailiff, please summon the robot named Ponko.
Oh boy.
Oh dear. Witness, please state your name and occupation.
My name is not Witness! My name is Ponko!
Yes, I realize that. But when you are at a witness stand, you are the witness.
No, I'm not! I'm Ponko! Say it with me! Ponko!
What an utterly inflexible little robot!
You're the last person who should be calling anybody inflexible.
Ah! You remind me of my grandchild who just learned his own name. Oh, how precious.
Alright, Ponko. I'm going to ask you some questions.
Questions? You have questions? Hooray! What are your questions?
It's gonna be hard to take Ponko seriously.
I want to know if you were there at the scene of the murder of Metis Sykes. It was 7 years ago on the 7th of October around 2 p.m. in the robotics lab.
Certainly. Just a moment. Searching data. Search complete. Yes! I was there in the robotics lab!
It would seem this robot's testimony is necessary to this case after all.
This is great. I just knew Ponko must have seen something important.
A murder committed right before this poor little girl's eyes. It's inexcusable.
John seems ready to adopt Ponko as another grandchild. A robot?
So, little Ponko, do you think you can give us your testimony today?
I'm gonna cross-examine this robot.
Okay, next character I think you should voice. I've voiced enough.
Okay.
I went to the robotics lab at around 2 p.m. for my regular recharge. Just as I was about to charge up, Athena came in and hugged Mummy Metis. And then Mummy Metis fell down. After that, I was recharging, so I don't know anything. After I charged up, I was clearing the room and Mr. Simon came in. And then an error occurred. There was no data after that point.
Well, it sounds like the defendant was, without question, at the scene. However, it doesn't appear that the witness saw the actual moment of the murder.
I disagree. This testimony shows that the defendant did indeed commit the crime.
What?
At the end of the day, we mustn't forget that this witness is still a machine. Being a robot, its understanding and capacity to express itself are limited.
So what are you suggesting?
Why are you surprised? The witness's statements need to be interpreted. For example, the terms hugged and then later fell down.
Oh.
Adults don't usually fall down after being hugged by a child.
They don't, but...
Yes, what this witness statements are telling us is that the defendant stabbed the victim with the murder weapon during this moment.
What?
Before Miss Sykes hugged Dr. Sykes, did the two of them converse?
Yes, they did. They spoke to each other very loudly. but I don't know what they said. Athena is usually so quiet, so I was surprised.
Spoke very loudly. Can we interpret this to mean they argued?
I see. The murder after a heated argument, and then the victim fell down. I agree that it does sound like a reasonable interpretation. However, Paco doesn't seem to remember anything that happened after that.
When I am recharging, I go into sleep mode. But I remember everything before that! I have very good memory!
You may as well admit defeat now, Wright. A cross-examination would be useless.
Don't be ridiculous. A cross-examination is never useless.
Until now. Think about it. Robots don't lie.
Unless Paco was programmed to lie.
Yeah.
This robot is both an important witness and a valuable evidence at the same time.
Nevertheless, I will have my cross-examination.
I see you haven't changed. You never were one to worry about wasting time.
That's mean.
Very well. Even if it may be a waste of time, you may proceed, Mr. Wright.
Why has Edgeworth still got that rude attitude? Seriously.
No idea. I'll show you both just how fruitful any cross-examination could be. Box at about 2 p.m. for my regular recharge. Just as I was about to charge up, Athena came in and hugged Mommy Metis. I fell down after that I was recharging, so I don't know anything. You know, I'm gonna try it. Hold it! I don't want to delve too deeply here, but... Can you tell us how the victim appeared and acted at this moment?
Molly Metis was very surprised when she was hugged. I heard her heart pound.
Her heart?
Mr. Wright, have you forgotten about the document we found at the robotics lab? These robots have a heartbeat detection system.
Now that he mentioned it, I do remember reading something like that there. They detect the presence of people by the sound of their heartbeats. Wait a minute. That means... Dr. Science really did die at this moment.
Wait! Her heart wouldn't be beating!
Paco, how was Dr. Science after she fell down? Could you still hear the sound of her heartbeat?
Let's see. The moment she fell, her heart was pounding. After that, I don't know. I started recharging just then.
For all the unlucky timing, if you hadn't heard anything after that, could have possibly proved that the hug wasn't actually the moment of the murder.
I'm very sorry. I'm afraid I don't know. I'm very sorry.
The robot is designed to go into sleep mode automatically, so it can't be helped. But it does appear it detected an increased heart rate at the moment of the stabbing.
After Molly Metis' heart started pounding in surprise, she fell by the window. It was the pound window on the workbench side of the room.
Workbench, huh? We're talking about that table so to the right where that giant robot is now. There's something critical in Paco's statement just now. She fell near the window. I feel like that might be something, so I'm just gonna say there is something. Your Honor, I believe this statement is critical. I'd like to add it to her testimony.
Very well. Bongo, could you please add that statement to your testimony? That's a good little girl.
Mommy Menace fell down near the round window on the workbench side of the room.
Something seems contradictory about that.
She fell down near the window on the workbench side of the room, but this photo
But
showed
it
that
clearly shows that she's dead on the chair.
Yeah, and like this side of the room is different. The round windows
So
and
when
the workbench are right there, but she's over here.
Yeah. So
like-
that means that that moment whenever Planko saw was not her getting murdered. So,
Yeah, so it's either that or unless something else happened. I mean, it's like what Edward said. This robot's probably not meant to lie. So we'll see what happens when we present this. But we'll see.
objection time.
Yep. Objection! Ponko, your statement may have just inspired a breakthrough.
I was helpful? Hooray! I'm so happy!
Just to be sure, let's go over it again, okay? The victim fell near the window on the workbench side of the room. However, her body was discovered on the operating table.
But the operating table and the workbench are two different locations.
Exactly, Your Honor. We just learned a new crucial fact. What could explain the two very different locations of the body? I'll tell you what. The victim moved, the defendant moved the body.
The defendant probably moved the body.
I think that might make her more guilty, so should I say
I mean, no. Yeah, the other one.
I guess the victim moved. An 11-year-old girl couldn't have moved the heavy body of an adult.
Right.
So the only explanation is that the victim walked to the operating table herself. In other words, what Ponko observed near the workbench couldn't possibly have been the moment of the murder.
Whoa! I am very relieved to hear that. Glad to know the murder wasn't committed in front of little Ponko there.
Yes, as we just heard in the testimony, Miss Syke hugged her mother, nothing more.
Objection!
Objection! Right.
That it?
It's been 8 years, but you're still just as green as ever.
Green? But I can't recall ever seeing Mr. Wright in anything but a blue suit.
Hey, blue's my favorite color. What can I say?
If the defendant couldn't move the body herself, she could have it moved for her. No!
Move for her? Miss Syke and Dr. Syke were the only ones there.
I agree. Since this robot is equipped with a heartbeat detection system, it would have been aware of another person's presence if someone else had been there. We can therefore conclude that the defendant and the victim were the only ones present.
Then who do you suggest moved the body?
Don't you know it's in nature of a robot to help people do things?
Are you saying one of the robots moved there?
Miss Ponko, allow me to ask you a question.
Hold on. The text said Miss Panko.
What? Miss Panko?
It says P-A-N-K-O on this.
My name is Ponko. Say it with me. Ponko.
I believe you said you were cleaning after Dr. Sykes fell down. Did you happen to move something large onto the operating table?
Yes, I did. Athena asked me to.
What? Athena asked you to?
And what did you mean, little Ponko?
What did you move?
What'd you move?
I don't know. Unless something has an ID tag, I can't tell what it is.
An ID tag, you say?
Yes, a tag with a barcode on it. We robots scan them to tell us what a thing is.
That paper in the lab did mention something about that. Recognizes people by scanning their spacesuit or uniform jacket ID tag, it said.
So it would appear that Miss Panko here can't identify what it moved.
My name is Ponko!
But we humans have the power to imagine what it was, do we not?
We do.
Well, I do at the very least. Miss Panko, on the defendant's command, move the body onto the operating table.
Yeah! Ponko, did you really move Dr. Psych's body? This is really important. Isn't there any way you could tell?
I don't know. Without an ID tag, I can't tell.
Give it up, Wright. If the victim's heart rate was stopped, the robot's detection system would have been useless. Furthermore, Dr. Sykes usually wore her white coat while she was working. She kept the jacket with her ID tag on it, draped over a chair in the robotics lab, and only wore it for special occasions. In other words, the victim wasn't wearing her ID tag at the time. From the robot's point of view, her body was simply just another object.
Objection!
Objection! But Ponko is equipped with a facial recognition system. If she really did with the victim, she would have recognized the body of Dr. Psych. But she didn't. And that means...
Objection!
Objection! A face can easily be covered with a piece of cloth, a mask, or anything else for that matter. With her facial features hidden, the robot would have been able to tell it was Dr. Sykes. To summarize, Miss Sykes stabbed her mother near the workbench, then, using the robot, she moved the body to the table, where she removed the sword and was stained with blood.
Order! Well, if that's the case, then I have a question. Why did the defendant move the body onto the operating table in the first place?
You want a reason? Very well.
What? I can't possibly have an explanation.
Your emotions blind you to the truth. You could learn a lot from our robot friends. Calm and rational thought will open your eyes to the truth in front of you, Mr. Wright. Now then, do you remember the operating table's one special feature?
I believe I read that robots can be assembled and disassembled there. Isn't that right?
That's right. And to the defendant, who was just a child at the time, the table was like a magic box that could make robots appear or disappear in seconds.
and my mom just put her on the operating table and fixed her in a flash. I was so impressed by what my mom did. I even asked her if she would put me on the table and fix it if I ever got hurt. It looked just like magic to me what she could do.
You can't possibly be suggesting.
This young, sheltered girl had a difficult time distinguishing robots from people.
But take a look at Ponko's arm. It was Miss Sykes who bandaged it up like that. Or up like that.
She must have thought the machines heal the same way that people do. What an adorable, naive mistake. It reminds me of my own grandchild.
No way. I refuse to believe it.
Miss Sykes made a childish, naive, and cruel mistake. She thought that if a robot could be dismantled and vanish without a trace...
Prosecutor Edgeworth! If you're about to claim what I think you are, I demand you word it as delicately as you can.
With all due respect, Your Honor, all I can do is present the truth as it stands. The reason the defendant moved the victim's body to the operating table...
Hold it!
Hold it. No, don't say another word. Just stop.
Was to dismantle the evidence so she could get away with her crime!
That can't be true.
Order! Order in the court! Order in the court, I say!
Edgeworth. She was just a little kid. How can you say such a horrible thing?
Horrible? Like I said, you're just as green as ever. I came here today as a prosecutor to seek only the truth. No more, no less. My theory is simply the result of rational consideration of every possibility.
Objection!
Objection! But dismantling isn't the table's only function. It can make repairs as well. It's conceivable that Miss Sykes moved her mother to the table in order to fix her.
I suppose that could be another way of interpreting it. But dismantle or repair, it doesn't matter either way.
What do you mean?
After murdering her mother, Miss Sykes may have come to her senses. Perhaps she did want to make it appear as if it had never happened. And that's why she tried to repair her mother. Yes, that's one possible explanation.
But
we mustn't forget the facts of this case. The victim was observed to fall down after being hugged by the defendant. And the body was moved per the defendant's command. These two facts that indicated the defendant's guilt, remain unchanged.
this just can't be true.
Mr. Wright, do you have any evidence to refute the prosecution's claim?
Evidence. Right. Let's see. I can't think of any. I'm afraid I don't have any evidence.
Since becoming chief prosecutor, I've learned that truth isn't always pretty. Now accept the truth, Mr. Wright. Your stubbornly murdered her own mother. Your Honor, the prosecution demands a verdict. The hostages have suffered enough.
Something has to show up.
What a terrible and tragic conclusion. If the defense has no counter-arguments, I see no need to further prolong this trial.
Edgeworth's argument seems solid enough, but there's no way Athena could have ever done anything like that. Oh, I do. There has to be something, but I can't think of a single thing.
There might be a big objection. Wait, what?
Simon?
Oh. Say it. Wait, was it Simon's voice, or did it not play?
It did not play.
Oh.
I guess it was I guess it was just to keep it mysterious, but anyway. Objection!
Prosecutor Blackwell?
This is quite the farce you are conducting here. I could die from laughter.
Prosecutor Blackwell, what are you talking about?
What I'm talking about is that your argument is based on entirely false premise. Go on, we're listening. Is this being a miracle I need? What is Prosecutor Blackwell trying to pull here? 7 years. For 7 long years. This case had been on my mind. Not for an instant did I not think of it. I'm the one who killed my mentor. I don't think you can alter that fact now. Your bonus. I will take to the stand, and I won't take no for an answer.
Of course, Prosecutor Blackwell. Please go ahead.
Your screen froze for a sec, but it came back.
Great, now it's Blackwell.
Oh boy.
I went to the Colonial Space Center with the intention of killing Dr. Sykes. But when I got to the robotic lab, I found Athena there instead. I would not be swayed from my purpose, so I waited for Dr. Sykes to return. And then I committed the act. Oh, how cathartic it was.
So he just admitted to it? Or is he just doing it to protect?
It's either that or actually protecting, I don't know.
I think.
But little Ponko here witnessed the victim falling. In other words...
Objection!
Objection! I don't need any of your other words, old man. I can guess what happened.
Which would be...
She fell, she fell. Merely that. A mother and child fooling around. Perhaps she tripped. Not that it mattered. When I entered the lab, there was no trace of Dr. Sykes to be seen. There was no dead body either. Of course. Meaning she must have left the room.
So the murder occurred after the time period Ponko described in their testimony?
You should hardly take stock in the words of a wind-up toy.
Objection!
Objection! Then how do you explain the fact that the defendant had the robot move something?
Athena was always tinkering with the robots on the operating table to amuse herself, and she always had Ponko move the heavy ones for her. That day was no different. Ponko moved the heavy robot for Athena. This is awful. What he's saying seems to make sense, and yet...
Objection!
Objection! Prosecutor Blackwell, are you trying even now to turn away from the truth? No, Edgeworth. Do you recall we could bring the dark age of the law to a close today?
Objection!
Objection! You expect too much from me. I'm just a murderer beyond redemption. Why don't you just let me go so I can settle down to hell? Prosecutor Blackwell's execution is tomorrow. If the truth doesn't come out now, it's all over.
Are you saying that the little girl and the robot had nothing to do with the murder?
That's right, so let's hear your verdict. If we don't hurry, I might miss the ferry across the Styx.
Hold it! Don't you dare, Judge! Don't forget I have hostages over here! And Simon! How long are you going to cover for her?
Miss Blackwell? Forgive me, Aura. I never wanted you to do anything like this for me. But you agreed to this trial. If you have a counter-argument, then present your evidence. That's the rule of the courtroom. Isn't that right, Chief Prosecutor?
Blackwell, you selfish... You know what would have been better?
What?
Blackwell, you selfish... Silence! That would have made it better. What do you think? He could have said something like, I am not selfish, I am but that, or something like that, you know?
Well, to be frank, I don't like this, but it's my duty to make a decision. If no one has a counter argument, I will announce my verdict.
Is this really happening? Is it really going to end just like you did 7 years ago?
I wanted it so bad, even though I want to fly out of here and go save him.
No, I can't tell her. But how can I lie to Athena? I can't prove Prosecutor Blackwell is innocent in this trial. I don't think Athena will ever forgive me.
Oh boy, we're in a pickle.
I can't let this happen. I just don't have evidence to counter Prosecutor Blackwell's testimony.
I think that big objection is coming.
Or,
Hold it.
but I don't know who that was. Oh.
What?
Hold it!
Athena, what are you... Are you feeling okay?
I can hear it! I can hear the voice of his heart! He's hiding something!
I don't think she should be there.
It really is. I could sure use Athena's help here. Her power might be just a thing to get us through this.
Objection!
Objection! Psych, Donu. No need for you to chime in here. Just accept that you're innocent.
Objection!
Objection! These past 7 years, they've been just as hard on me, you know?
What are you talking about?
Don't you remember that horrible, horrible trial? Please! You have to listen to me!
I was about to say, this young Athena.
He didn't kill her! His heart is screaming that he didn't kill her! Even now, every time I stand in a courtroom, it comes back to haunt me. What? Not being heard, no matter how hard you try. Feeling so helpless.
That was the first trial. Oh my god.
Caught in people's stares, so scared that it feels like your chest is in a vise.
That was when she was having that mental breakdown. Remember?
Yeah.
I'm terrified of courtrooms. I want to run out of that door even now.
Then why'd you become a defense attorney?
She wanted to say Blackwell. And yet you found a way to keep your fears at bay and became a lawyer.
Thanks. That's because one day, I came to realize that I had to fight. I couldn't give up. I exercised hard and I studied hard. I wanted to become the strongest lawyer I could be. This day has finally come. The day I have been looking forward to with all my heart. This is why I became a lawyer. This is why I studied psychology. It was all to save you from this false conviction.
Well, Miss Sykes, you do realize what it would mean. You are the accused after all. If you prove Prosecutor Blackwell innocent, then
The only thing that matters is the truth. It's my duty to find out what that truth is. Simon, please give me a chance. Please give me this chance. Sorry. The chance to shake off this fear that has been with me for 7 years to face the truth.
Instead of being so brave, confronting your past like this. This might really be the last chance to save them both. Prosecutor Blackwell, please testify one more time about the incident 7 years ago. Fine. But your efforts will surely be in vain. I'm not a man who can be cut down easily.
Here we go, Simon. Let me hear the voice of your heart.
Oh boy.
Sweet. I like this.
Right. I went to the Congo Space Center with the intention of killing Dr. Sykes.
Angry, makes sense.
But when I got to the robotic lab, I found Athena there instead.
Angry and happy? That doesn't make sense.
I would not be swayed from my purpose, so I waited for Dr. Sykes to return.
Happy?
And then I committed the act, and how cathartic it was.
Why would you be happy about that? Wait, actually, unless he's happy that he's just defending Athena. Or no, unless he's happy that... Yeah, that he's just defending Athena.
But hold on. I will not be swayed. You look happy and mad. You look happy and mad at the same time. But the happiness kind of started going a slow bit over here. And also, he's more mad than that. I mean, he did...
Should we try clicking on the happy one there?
Yeah, I mean, he did say that he was the intention of killing Dr. Stipe, but then instead he found Athena there, and he was mad and happy. I guess I'll try the happy one first. So here.
Hold on. Oh. No, because I was gonna say, I was gonna suggest that since we're technically both choosing it, maybe we should both say it at the same time next time, as both the characters.
Okay.
Yeah, because I mean technically we are, right?
Yeah.
And I just like saying stuff as Athena, so yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, this probably won't be the first time anyway, so we're probably gonna get back to it anyway. So yeah.
Yeah. Next time we'll say it at the
feeling
same
of
time.
Happiness. Even though the person you were looking for wasn't there, you felt happy. Why is that? Simple. When I was looking for Athena and hadn't found her yet, I grew worried. So when I saw her in the robotics lab, I was happily relieved. Merely that.
Whoa!
That dropped big. Just now you said that you went to the Space Center to kill Dr. Sykes. But the first thing you did was look for her daughter instead. I had no intention of harming Athena, so I wanted to confirm that she was safe first. It was just a part of my plan. Nothing contradictory about that.
But why would she want to protect her daughter if he was gonna kill her?
The second I find inconsistency, he cuts it down.
Simon knows the principles of analytical psychology. There's less noise now, but I don't see any instabilities we can latch onto.
I was afraid of that. We'll just have to keep chipping away at him then, bit by bit. Could you update his testimony, Athena?
You got it, boss!
That's still the same.
Oh.
When I found Athena in the robotics lab, I was relieved. Okay, that makes sense.
Happy. What doesn't make sense about that is that why is he happy that Athena is safe when he wants to kill her mother? No, that doesn't make sense to me.
I will not be away from the purpose, so I waited for Dr. Sykes. Yeah, that's basically the same.
Huh?
Did I plunge the katana in? Now you're sad?
Now you're sad?
You literally said the intention of killing Dr. Sykes.
I think we should probably press the sad one.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
Actually, wait, who should count down so that we say it at the same time?
How do you do it?
Oh yeah, because you have the delay. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1.
Got it!
Did we do it?
Yep.
Cool.
Not even you can falsify your emotions, Prosecutor Blackwell. What? When you said that you killed Dr. Sykes in your testimony, you felt sadness. Why would someone who had laid in wait to kill her be sad at her death? Such an obvious attack. Yes, I felt sadness, but it wasn't for her. I felt sorry for Athena and her circumstances.
Then why'd you kill her mother?
Yeah, he can't be talking about that, can he?
I was just a convenient subject for her research.
Oh my god. Dr. Sykes was so intent on her research, she forced her daughter to underage experiments.
Undergo.
Undergo.
My objective was to save Athena. From an obsessive scientist who treated her own daughter like a research subject.
Oh.
What?
That makes sense.
I'm
Not saying that I would support doing that, but it makes sense now, you know?
I went to the psychology lab first. That's when I would usually find Athena playing. But that day was different. I heard someone crying in the robotic lab next door. Was Dina being subjected to yet another experiment? I thought as I went to see. Conveniently, Athena had cried herself to sleep, so all I do was wait and kill. That's why he was relieved when he saw Athena. But is this story really true? I'm not sure how much to believe.
Mr. Wright?
How are you doing, Athena? Still hanging in there?
I'm a lot stronger than I look, boss. Now take a look at this. The noise level actually increased.
Wait, what?
Wait, hold on, what?
What?
Did I choose wrong? It went up. I've never seen it do that before.
Prosecutor Blackwell is lying somewhere in his testimony. As a matter of fact, he's piling lie on top of lie in an attempt to make his claims sound more believable. He's lying even harder to suppress his true feelings, and that's what's causing the noise.
How in the world should I approach this? I can either use an evidence-based approach, or I can find if I can find a contradiction. Otherwise, I'll look for an inconsistency in his emotions. There are no flaws in my testimony, and his boldness is prepared to give his verdict. Give up on this last lost cause and let the law free me of these chains already.
Objection!
Objection! Nope. I don't think so. Not while I'm around. Now, contrary to testimony or inconsistent emotions, what should I tackle first? I'm gonna try and go for his emotions first, and then we'll see.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm gonna go for the emotions.
We'll see if there's emotions first. Okay, let's look for inconsistent emotions.
Got it, boss. But if you want to try looking for a contradictory statement instead, just let me know. I can easily switch over.
Okay.
Huh, interesting. Wait.
I heard crying from next door, and of course I was worried.
I mean, those emotions make sense.
I heard over and opened the door to the robotics lab. Before I could leave Dina out of there, cursed my luck, Dr. Sykes came in. I refused to hand over Dina so I had no choice but to kill my mentor.
Yeah, but that sounds different from what he said before, though, doesn't it?
Oh, whoops, I didn't mean to go over. I meant go back. I open the door to a body slab. That surprise seems to be really big, though.
Should we try that?
I guess?
Okay. You ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1.
Got it! How odd. Why would you register surprised at opening a door to the lab? Alright, fine. I'll explain if I must. What surprised me was Ponko. That toy figure attacked me. Dr. Syke knew full well of my plan to rescue Athena. But she couldn't stand guard over her daughter 24 hours a day. So Dr. Syke had Ponko do it? That's right. She ordered Ponko to forcibly remove me on sight. So I slashed Ponko up with the katana that was there in the lab. That rickety old puppet wasn't worthy of that fine blade.
Mr. Wright, it's happening again! There's even more noise!
Oh, damn it.
Back to 100?
No!
It's 100% now. What's going on here?
Whenever we find an opening, he covers it up with lies. We'll never get rid of the noise at this rate.
It's pretty hard to keep telling coherent lies like that. His mind and will really are as sharp and strong as a katana. Alright, what should I tackle first this time? You know, let's just try his testimony this time.
Okay, but did we choose wrong?
I don't know. I think there might be an inconsistency in Prosecutor Blackwell's testimony.
Alright, let's give it a thorough check then.
Okay. With a feeling of dread, I just opened her lab door just then. Oh gosh. Ponko attacked me. I retaliated by cutting him to pieces. Before I could leave Tina out of their crib, my luck after I came in. Piece of hand over Tina, so I had no choice but to kill my mentor. Okay, hold on. This second one got an update, so Ponko attacked me and retaliated by cutting him to pieces. Nope. Nope. Nope.
Wait a minute. But hang on. Why is the bandaged arm on the table?
Could it be this one?
I mean, to me it looks like the table is already the table. The arm on the table is already bandaged. It wouldn't make sense if it was bandaged before she was put back together. I don't know, what do you think? That's just my take on it. But if you think something else, then...
Let's just see what happens, and after all, it's not game over after all we present to us anyways.
Okay, how about if we mess up 2 more times, including this one, I'll look for a hint. How about that?
Okay.
Okay. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's try this.
Yeah.
Alright.
I might be wrong, but...
Let's try it. Objection! Pounding lies with more lies is never the answer, Prosecutor Blackwell.
Oh, I think we got it.
Take a look at this photo.
That's a photo of the supposed moment of the murder, isn't it?
How many more times must I see that which damned me for my sin? The ironic thing is, I think this picture is actually going to be your savior now. See the bloodstain at the end of Ponko's arm where it was severe with the katana?
Oh!
I hope you aren't claiming that it's the robot's blood, Mr. Wright.
No.
No.
You don't have blood. No, most likely the blood was transferred there from the bloody katana, not body katana.
The katana already had blood on it? So that it must have been the victim's blood?
That's right. But if that's the case, we found a glaring inconsistency. You said in your testimony that you cut up Ponko and then you killed Dr. Stike. But in spite of that, the victim's blood is already on Ponko's arm in this picture.
What? But that couldn't be!
Exactly. In order for the blood to have transferred from the sword to Ponko's arm, the victim must have been stabbed first before the robot was slashed. In other words, Prosecutor Blackwell, your entire testimony is nothing but one giant ball of lies. Ah! Tell the court the truth, Prosecutor Blackwell, now. You have no idea what you're doing.
It's interesting to see that from that angle.
His voice. There's so much discord. I'm hearing not just one or two, but a bunch of rampaging emotions here. It's hard to describe. It's like a violent whirlpool or something.
Phoenix Wright, you will pay for this. Never have I been forced to reveal so much, but the rest I'll take to my grave. Prosecutor Blackwell, you are on the witness stand. You're obligated to tell the truth. Isn't that the rule of the courtroom?
All of these complex emotions, they seem to be flowing from one source. I think whatever he really saw that day is what's causing these feelings.
Oh. What the?
Holy shit!
Oh my gosh! He's feeling all of them?
How?
Following the sound of crying, I opened the lab door and then... I saw a terrible scene.
This is all new, isn't it?
Before I could leave Dina out of there, Kirk, my blood Dr. Knight came in. I had no choice but to kill my mates. Oh my god. What? Okay, there's something to probe apparently, but what?
I don't see it.
We're assuming he's covering for Athena, so is it because of Athena? Herself? Well, what can I probe here? Life Lab, Ponko, Athena, himself. Okay, so, yeah, the question down there is asking what's causing strong emotions.
Might be Athena herself.
Might be Athena. I guess we'll try Athena?
Yep. You ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1.
Got it!
Oh boy.
When you opened the door and saw Athena, you became overwhelmed by your emotions. Isn't that right, prosecutor? You should know better. And though it's pathetic, I admit I'm terrified to speak of it. Prosecutor Blackwell, Miss Sight's innocent. I will always believe that with all my heart. Now, can't you find it within yourself to believe in me too? Athena's innocent? Huh? Can you honestly say you believe that to be true? Right, Donna? I give you my word. Now tell me what you really saw when you opened that door. Curse you, Phoenix Wright.
Whoa. Whoa.
What's happening now? It was a tragedy, one I'll never forget.
Is this Blackwell?
I'm just gonna assume that. It was a tragedy, one I'll never forget. When I arrived at the lab,
Yeah.
Dr. Syke was already dead.
Oh.
She was lying on the operating table, while the bloody katana lay on the floor. And standing between the two, covered in blood, was Athena. She smiled, with a far-off look in her eyes, as she sweetly said, "What the?"
Something's wrong with them, so I'm taking her apart to fix her.
But doesn't that make doesn't that make Athena more guilty?
And that image was creepy.
I know, that's what I saw, and now you have it. The truth that you so desperately wanted. Doesn't that make Athena more guilty? No. Prosecutor Blackwell finally tells the truth. And this is what it is? It's beyond devastating.
I tried to take my mother apart.
Jesus Christ.
How was that?
Yeah.
I tried to sound like I was crying.
Yeah.
So was me. I'm the one who killed my mother.
Athena.
As I said, Wright, the truth isn't always pretty. Murdered dissembly on an operating table, a scientist using her daughter as a guinea pig. Sadly, it appears that my theory was correct after all.
Objection!
Objection! It's true that Athena didn't like her mother's research, but you dare cast aspersions on my mentor by claiming Athena was used in such a manner? Dr. Sykes could be awkward with people, but she loved her daughter with all her heart.
She loved me?
Your mother hated to see you suffer because you could hear the voices of people's hearts. She wanted to set you free of your pain, so she worked tirelessly on her research. Do you remember those headphones you hated so much?
Yes. My head hurt every time I wore them.
No, Athena. It's just the opposite. They emitted sound waves to nullify emotional input from the voices of people around you. Your power is much stronger than then it is now. And those headphones were what enabled you to carry on with everyday life.
No, that can't be true. Why? Why would I have done something like that to somebody who loved me so much?
Her love for you was real. That I can guarantee. That's why I knew that what happened had to be some kind of mistake. I couldn't let you be punished for it.
So you took the blame yourself. You and your mentor are more alike than you know.
Pongo was a witness, so I put it in the case, held Athena close, and vacated the lab. So even if we bluffed that was true.
Jeez.
I threw Pongo away in the boarding lounge in the trash chute, and I hid the case on the Space Center ground.
It would seem that we now have all of the facts of this case.
Hold it!
Hold it! No, not yet. It can't end like this.
Objection!
Objection! Do not disgrace yourself, Mr. Wright. The truth has been revealed. Or are you the type of man to turn your back to things that disagree with you?
I'm not. But this... I can't give up now. I have to say something, anything, even if it's a bluff. I've always managed to pull through that way in the past. I have to make it work. The defense is prepared to present evidence
Mr. Wright.
Yes, Athena?
It's okay. You can stop now. I don't want you or anyone else to suffer any longer for my sake.
Athena, what are you saying?
I killed my mother! That's the truth! It's just like Prosecutor Edgeworth said! I have to face it no matter how much it hurts! I admit my guilt! But can I please be granted? Just tell everyone what I recall.
It appears that Miss Sykes is much braver than you, Mr. Wright. What do you say, Your Honor? In light of her courage, will the Count give Miss Sykes this opportunity to confess?
The court.
To the court? Yeah, the court. Blah. Sorry, I can't even think straight right now. I'm just shocked.
Very well. Then if you would, please take the stand, Miss Sykes.
Sorry about that, guys. Had to cut something out.
Yep.
Oh, God.
Thank you for letting me do this, Prosecutor Edgeworth. And thank you, Mr. Wright and Prosecutor Blackwell, for letting the truth be known. Now we can finally move forward, and everyone's suffering can come to an end.
Athena.
Prosecutor Blackwell will be cleared, and the dark age of the law can come to an end. Yes, admit your guilt, and bring everything to its conclusion.
I killed my mother. My memory is still a little hazy, but there's no question I remember it. I remember the weight of the weapon in my hands and the feeling of it stabbing me deep. And I remember the warmth of her blood as it flowed down the handle onto my fingers. Your Honor, please find me guilty.
I dare say, these are all memories that no one but the murderer should have.
I see. Thank you for your confession. I believe this trial has gone on long enough. But before we conclude, does anyone have a counter-argument?